Morning, YouTubers. Well, we got a request from a viewer asking me about the Edwards Ironworker that we have here in the shop. And it's made in Albert Lea, Minnesota, and it's made by Edwards Manufacturing Company. They've been according to the decal there, established in 1875. It's a nice unit. It's got a small footprint. It's the 60-ton model. Now, when you go from the 60-ton to the 65-ton, it gets to be a much bigger, robust unit. This machine was purchased this size for a particular reason, and I'll take you over now and I'll show you exactly why. If you notice that the machine is planked right between the middle of a ramp, and the reason why it's there is because if you look at the way this thing is designed, it has an area in the legs where you can put your forks for your forklift and you can move this machine. As you can see, the wire is not hardwired, it's just gone right into a welding plug right here. It's a single phase 220 unit, and the reason why I have it done like this is because if I'm taking in a machine that requires to be left in overnight or for a few days while I'm waiting on parts, I'll use this particular hoist here. I'll move the Ironworker out, I'll move the bike ramp out, and I'll move the forklift out and use this bay here for overnight or long-term repairs. So that's where it'll stay. And that way I don't tie up my regular ramp. So that's one of the reasons. You'll also notice that it's on a pallet, and the reason why it's on a pallet is because we had a job last year. We had to punch 650 holes, 1/4 holes in plate, and I found the thing was really low to the ground, so a friend of mine's got me a plastic pallet, and as you can see, it fits perfectly on the plastic pallet. So I was quite happy with that. The other thing is, some of the things that you'll see on this Ironworker, you won't see on Edwards' site. Yes, guys, it's been modded. You'll see lights here. These lights are magnetic, and they're made by a company called Dan Ray, and they are a commercial light, and they work quite well. They work a lot better than these stick-on tabs. I guess I got to get my click bond system out again. But anyway, you'll also notice that this table right here, when I purchased this was purchased new. When I purchased it, this table only consisted of this area here. And I made this table, machined it and milled it all out to fit this machine. And I find it much better having a better work table there. Also, when I received the machine, let me see if I can find this for you. When I received the machine, it had these adjusters on here for tightening down your material when you're getting ready to cut. And I just didn't like twisting them with the fingers, so what I did is I made up these with the hand crank, and I find that much better. So that's what I did there. What else? Oh yes, inside there was no lighting, and I added LED light strips to it as well. So it's nice to be able to see what you're doing. With regards to the Ironworker, what else can I tell you? Well, first of all, I'll just tell you exactly what the thing does. It punches, it notches, it cuts off sheet metal, not sheet metal, but flat bar, or anything up to a 1/2 inch by 12 or 3/8 by 14. The gap here is 14 inches wide, so I mean I've cut 1/2 inch plate there. Actually, to be honest with you, I've cut 14 inch wide by 1/2 inch plate, no problem at all. It'll cut round stock up to 7/8 right here. It'll cut angle iron, and there's the specs for the angle iron. Actually, there's the specs for the notching and for the punching. So on this end, there's a notcher, as you can see. And this thing was just used yesterday. As a matter of fact, I punched these plates out yesterday, giving a friend of mine a demo of what they look like. This is a 3/8 plate. And that's what it punched out, you know. So it works quite well. The punches, there's many different types of punches, and this is just a few of them that I punched, just an example. And I'll show you what the punches look like. Let's see. So these here are my oddball punches. These are going to be the ones with the square holes, like for carriage bolts. Then there's elongated ones and whatnot. And of course, when you buy the punch, you have to buy the respective die as well. So there's a little bit to it, and they're not cheap, guys, you know. As you can see, there's the round ones there. That kit is just consists of round ones. And you know, having an Ironworker is like buying a power drill. You bring home your power drill, if you don't have any drill bits for it, well, what's the point? Well, an Ironworker is the same thing. It's you bring it home and you plunk it down on your floor, and if you don't have any good variety of punches and dies, well, you're very limited to what your Ironworker will do for you. So it's something to consider when you're buying one. The machine is one cost, and the punches and dies, and of course accessories are going to be another thing to think about. Now, this here is called a stripper. Yes, boys, a stripper. I know everybody's going to rush out now and buy one of these things because of that. But this thing is here for two reasons. Number one, there's a guard there to protect you from any flying debris. And the other thing is, it's there to keep the metal from bowing. When you're pressing it, if that stripper wasn't there, it could possibly bow up on each side, and that'll hold it back down, which is pretty neat. I can show you how it works. Let me see. I'll get some of this 3/16 plate. So I'll use some plate that I was given a demo to yesterday. So we shall see. So let's turn it on. And let's punch it out and see. And there it is, okay? So as you can see, it's a nice clean round hole. Now just think about trying to do that with your drill and your drill press. So we'll head on over here now and we'll check out the notcher. So I'm going to bring over my little remote, foot remote, plank it down there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put down the safety guard, just for the sake of being politically correct. And we're going to, let me see if I can adjust this light where you can see it better, guys. Let me try something a little different here. Now there you go. Now, if you want to come over here, and you want to put it in here, and you want to tighten it down, like I'm doing there, then I'll bring over my little foot control. And I'll loosen it up here again, and there you go. So you can work with it quite fast, and I mean, you can cut it on angles. You know, you're not limited to the angles. You can adjust your fences and stuff. Now, when I bought this, I don't think it had any slots cut here. So now I can move this over here and adjust it different ways as well. I also added these. These are a couple of extra ones that I added here and added there for my angles if need be. Back here, there's a stop. Let me see now if I can do this with one hand. So you can adjust this, and you can pull this one back. I'll show you here now, guys. Bear with me. So that when you're cutting plate or you're cutting angle iron, it'll come through here, and when you get the right adjustment here, you can cut them all equal lengths. So that's incredibly fast when you're doing something like that. That's an option too, I believe. All the hydraulics are enclosed down here, and there's a pump, and I think it's got a 5 horsepower motor if I remember correctly. Anybody who's got an Ironworker should definitely have one of these charts. It just shows you the capacity of the punches and how thick a metal you can punch, and also the amount of tonnage that's required to punch with that punch and the thickness of the metal. Now, another thing that I did here is I made up these cap catchers. These are all made out of aluminum, and they're all put on there with, they're just dowel pins. This just pulls straight off. I'll just put this on the tripod and I'll show you. Okay, so here we are here. So when I got it, it didn't have these. So what it had, I'll turn this over so I can see. It just basically had this. And a friend of mine who's got a fabrication shop in the city, he said he's got a similar setup. He just puts a bucket there to catch the material that falls down. Well, that's okay until you have a worker trip up in the over the bucket. The next thing, he's off on workman's compensation, and he's got government agencies coming in to actually do an investigation of why your employee tripped up over a bucket. So I didn't want any issues like that. Although I'm the only one that works here, I still didn't want to trip up in the darn bucket. So I made up these cap catchers. This is all made out of aluminum. And just to show you, this is some of the stuff like it'll catch. So this thing is basically half full now. So I can just take it and dump it later on. And there's 2 of those, there's 1 on each side. Now, this machine also has what they call a jog system. And let's go over and I'll show you what that is. Now, what I mean by jog is, say for instance you're cutting thin metal, okay? This happens to be 3/16, okay? Now, the blades in this can travel full up and full down. Well, if your blade is traveling full up all the time and you have a lot of material to cut, that's a lot of extra travel, a lot of extra time, a lot of extra energy that you're wasting if you're letting that blade travel all the way up before you can come all the way back down. So what you can do is, there's electronic adjustments here, and you can adjust your blade down to just a little bit more than 3/16, probably up to a 1/4 high. That way, shove it in, cut. It only comes back up to a 1/4. Don't travel its whole width. So let's have a look. So you can see how much time it takes. All right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this now. Okay. So there you go. So now I'll put it in. So you can see exactly how much time you can save by using your jog feature or your automatically stop. Now, this remote, this foot remote that I use here, when you press down on it, it'll go down. When you lift half up on it, the blades will stop. So you actually have feather control of the blades as well, which is a really nice feature. Now, I know there's going to be a few of you out there that's going to be wondering, well, it seems to be loud or noisy. So I got this meter set up, and I'm going to try to refrain from talking for a few seconds. Then I'm going to turn on the machine, and we're going to see exactly how noisy this machine is. So we're going to start off first with me being quiet, and then I'm going to turn on the machine. So we're at 42. So we'll start the machine. So I'm 2.5 feet away from the machine, and we had peaked at 76. So to some people that might seem noisy, but in a shop environment where impact tools are being used, I mean, I don't think it's that noisy. Just as an example, we'll see how much noise an impact gun makes. Excuse me for a second, guys. I got to step out of view for a second. So let me see. Let me see if I can figure this out. No, I can't get into my phone. Okay. So we're going to keep it the same distance away. So as you can see, you know, when you can compare it to other tools in the shop, it's really not that noisy when you see it going up to 96 decibels peak. It's the air gun is quite noisier. So yeah, so let's go over, we'll have a look at the notcher and show you how that works again. Just want to show you that jog feature there now. Hang on, excuse me guys. So when I push down on the blade, on the foot switch, see, I can stop it wherever I want to stop it. So say for instance you want it to round the corner of a piece of metal. Here's what I would do. See, and just take your grinder and just grind it off and you're good to go. Or if I wanted to cut a little bit off of this to fit in a particular area, and there you go. So it's a great system, and it's very handy in the shop. Now when it comes to an iron worker, anybody buying one, I always recommend buying as big as you can afford and as many tools for it as you can afford, you know, in the room in which it has to operate. This particular one is what they refer to as a 3-station iron worker. You can work here, you can work here, or you can work here. Now, and it's a single operator system, which means that, you know, 2 people can't use it at one time, but you can get iron workers that will, you know, that can have 2 or 3 people operating at the one time. In other words, this tool is independent from this tool. So, all things to consider. Now, the thing is with an iron worker is how fast do you need it to be. Like in this shop here, we're not a production shop. When we're making anything, it's usually a one-off, and it's usually a special requirement. So there's no CNC equipment here. When I build something, it's totally built, you know, pretty well by hand, but with this type of equipment. So it's not important to have, you know, punch a pile of the same repetitive things. If it was, well, you'd need a bigger unit and something CNC. Now, this here is called a stripper. You can get a urethane stripper for it now, so that means that you don't have to adjust this with the urethane one, which is a good buy. I think they're $550, but the Canadian dollar right now is at 80 cents compared to the US dollar, so it's a poor time for us Canadians to be buying across the border. So maybe later on when our dollar goes back up to par, I'll probably pick up the urethane stripper for this, because this machine is a keeper. It's a great unit. I really like this unit, and Edward's done a fantastic job designing it. The other thing that I would like to have is, in order to change that punch, I have to use that big wrench. I have to pull the stripper up, take the big wrench, and unscrew the the punch and put in a new one. And that's a bit of a pain when you're in a bit of a rush. So I can get by with that. The stripper adjustment is the one that really irks me, because I got to constantly be adjusting the height for different thicknesses of the metal. But it's still not a big deal. It's 30 seconds to do, guys, you know. Now, this machine here came with this table here. Sorry, guys, about the strap. And so when I ordered it, I ordered with the optional 1-inch thick table. So it's got a great support there when you're punching steel. Also, this table can come off, and you can use this 8-inch brake on it. And basically, if you looked at this die, there's a quarter, 1/8, 1/16, and 3/16 die. And basically, it just goes down and bends your metal. And like I said, that's 8 inches, so it's a great outfit. Couple of things I had trouble with. It came with these indexable levers for tightening down stuff. They didn't last jig time, so I just replaced them with these steel inserts in here, but plastic handles, and they last forever. So they're way better, and they're, I think, $2.60 from Busy Bee Tools out of Ontario. So they've, all the steel ones, the metal ones, the aluminum ones, have been replaced with plastic now, and the plastic, believe it or not, are much better. And as you can see, you know, they're strong. I indexed this table as well, so I made up other adjustment bars that I can use on it. I've built a few things for it that made it really more enjoyable to use it and speed up productivity a little bit. So yeah, it's a great unit. Now, is it the best unit out there? Well, you know, best is kind of an opinion, you know. Let me put it to you this way. It's American made. It's built by a company who's been in business since 1875. It's reliable. We've owned it for 5 years, and other than replacing those little adjuster knobs there, haven't had an issue with it. It's done a lot of work, and you know, again, we keep our tools really in tip-top shape here. Like this machine has just been cleaned up, and it's all been greased, and I haven't even replaced a blade on it. You know, it's incredible. I know guys who got these things in their shop, and they go in a busy fabrication shop, and they turn them on in the morning. They're not turned off till quitting time. So, you know, proof's in the pudding, eh, guys? You know. So, with regards to the small 8-inch brake, I probably wouldn't have bought that. But at the time I bought this, that's all I had. Since then, I've built a 24-inch brake that I use in my electric over hydraulic press, and I built a 12-inch one. So that's kind of redundant now. I don't use that anymore. So it's much faster to walk over to my press and use those brakes that I have already in place than it is to change this over. So it's got some safety features. This here is an automatic stop. You hit that, she shuts off. Then you can lock it where you can't turn any machine on, as you can see. So, you know, it's built to code. Never had a problem. Again, is it the best machine that's out there? Probably not. I mean, I priced another manufacturer called Piranha before I purchased this, and the Piranha was twice as much money as this cost. And I mean, yes, great machine, but boys, you know, it's hard to justify when you're a small business person to pay double of what this thing can do. It might do it a little tiny bit slower, but I can guarantee you one thing, it won't do it any better. You know, my advice to anybody buying a Ironworker is to buy the biggest one with the most workstations as possible, you know, that your budget can afford. But remember, you know, the Ironworker is only just half of it. It's the dies and the punches that's going to follow later, and a few accessories that you add to it. It's, You know, it's kind of crazy, right? So, yeah, the manufacturer's date is on 2010. So, yeah, it's, well, it's not 5 years old, and it's probably 4 years old. So other than that, that's about it. I tried to cover as much stuff as I can in a short amount of time, because our lot out there is pretty well blocked this morning, waiting for work to come in. Hope the sound quality is good, because we're back on the wireless again. So I hope the volume is okay on it. We're just trying to tweak with that and try to get used to that. So if you have any questions, guys, you can just turn around and just ask them, and I'll try to answer them as accurately as possible. And regards of price, I don't discuss prices when I'm doing these videos, because I'll tell you why. Like, this is 4 years old, and a lot has changed in 4 years. The price of steel has gone through the roof, and transportation costs has gone through the roof, and everything, inflation has gone through the roof. So what I paid back in 2010 is certainly not going to apply what they're charging now. So, what's the point? So I'd go on Edwards' website. I'll put the link down below, and you can just check out and do your own homework and find out what you need. And there's lots of other manufacturers on YouTube. Just Google Ironworker, metal ironworker, and you'll have other different manufacturers. I know there's going to be people saying, well, this one is better than that, and that one is better than this. Look, I'm not interested in that, guys. I own it, I love it, and that's all that matters, So this is not going to be like a hockey team, one is better than the other. This is what I bought that a viewer wanted to know more about, so that's where it stands. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care of yourself, be good to each other, and God bless.